The book I'll be talking about today is The Art of Racing in the Rain, and it's a novel written by Garth Steen. Enzo is the main character throughout the book, regardless of the fact that he is a dog. Everything is told in his perspective. The story starts when Denny, Enzo's owner, marries Eve. They have a kid together and they name her Zoe. The entire family is happy and they all love Enzo. While Denny is away for his first NASCAR race, Eve suddenly starts to become very sick. She avoids going to the doctors, so she ends up going back to her parents' house for the time that Denny is gone. She forgets that Enzo is alone at home. This is where he starts hallucinating about an evil zebra due to starvation. When Denny comes back, he sees Enzo and he gets mad at Eve, but eventually forgives her. One day while they're away on a trip, Eve falls and hits her head on a rock. She is forced to go to a hospital, where everybody finds out that Eve has brain tumor. They also find out that she only has 8 months to live. The next couple of months consist of visits to Eve, who is transferred to her parents' house to get better. Eventually, Eve dies and Denny is devastated. He now has to fight for Zoe's custody because her grandparents don't want to live with Denny. Enzo watches all this, and the entire story up to the end is about how Denny lives his life after Eve's death. He suffers many hardships, paying for lawyers, rent, money for Zoe, Enzo's vet bill, and 2 court cases he is fighting. The standout aspects of the book are the fact that the author uses Enzo as the main character. He uses Enzo's eyes as a way to explain and tell the book. And it's very uncommon to see an animal talk about humans. So that was the standout aspect of the book. Something that the author should have changed in his book is the fact that he doesn't use many details. He has very straightforward sentences, which are like very, very easy to read. But he doesn't use details to describe the entire scenario. So if he would have done that, that would have been a lot more interesting. So that's the only one thing that I think he could improve inside the book. My favorite quote in the book was, "To live every day as if it had been stolen from death. That is how I would like to live life. To feel the joy of life as Eve felt the joy of life. To separate on oneself from the burden, the anguish that we all encounter every day. To say I am alive, I am wonderful, I am." That is something to aspire to. The reason I like this quote so much is the fact that it's very inspirational and it brings out a positive vibe. Even though the book has many sad parts to it, this quote covers it, and it brings out a positive vibe. And it's also an inspirational quote for everybody, like in the outside world, especially for people that want to commit suicide. This is perfect. He talks about how life is something that you should live. So yeah, that's my favorite quote. Honestly, I would recommend this book to everybody, not just dog lovers and pet owners and etc. Everybody would think, oh, it's a book about a dog. It's really not. It's a book about life. So I recommend you to read it. Thank you for listening.